Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am literally just in the door, so excuse me if I look a little bit all over the place and I only have half of my makeup done because today I want to talk about some new brushes from Real Techniques. I had to go to the pharmacy and as always I look around before I actually get what I want, and then I saw that Real Techniques has some new brushes and they look rather freaky. They remind me of toothbrushes more than anything because of their shape. In here we have 3 brushes and they are called the Rebel Edge Trio for bronzer, highlighter and shadow. I know it's a bit reflective. I'm gonna take the brushes out in 1 second. I just wanted to read what it said on the box. So the big brushes for the face, they make sense, but what really intrigues me is the little small one for the eyeshadow. I really don't see how that is going to work on the eyes, but let's find out together in this first impressions. It's always a struggle to open these. So there we go. I hope you can see the brushes a little bit better now without the reflective packaging. This is the biggest brush. And they have some sticky stuff around them. Let me see if I can get this off because this would be really annoying. Okay, I got it. So this is what it looks like. It's really freaky, but it is nice and soft. It is pinky purple. Matches my hair. Well, my hair looks... yeah, it kind of does match my hair. This is then the Rebel Edge Broad brush. Number 203, and on the packaging it says number 203 is for face. I'm guessing we could use this for powder and bronzer. I don't have my regular Studio Fix powder because I forgot it at a friend's house, so I'm just gonna use this MINERALIZE Skin Finish from MAC. It's a very light color, but I'm just gonna use the powder to set the foundation. Oh, and if I didn't mention before, I only have foundation, eyebrows and eyeshadow primer on. That's all I have on my face. So let's see if this brush works for powder. If you get the product here on the very tip of the brush, you can nicely go underneath your eyes. I'm sure the smaller brush would work a lot better if you wanted to powder your under eye area, but this one works fine as well. I like how I can do this with this brush. Kind of like a sweeping motion, and it's really, really soft. I don't think that this would be my preferred brush to put on overall powder. However, it did do the job and it worked fine. Let's see how this brush works with bronzer. I want to make use of products that I haven't used in a while, so for today we'll be taking our products from the Urban Decay Naked On The Run palette. Does anybody remember this? If you don't remember, this is what it looks like. So here you got your blush, bronzer, eyeshadows. This one is also an eyeshadow, even though it might look like an highlighter. And then you had here a lip gloss, eyeliner and a mascara. But let's use the bronzer in this. I remember I did like it. When I got it, I used to use it, but I just haven't really felt like using this palette, so. But for today's video, let's give them a shot. So again, I'm still using the big brush, the 203, and I'm just going to dip in the first half of the brush into the bronzer. I might as well cover all of it, but I have to go kind of like this because the brush is quite big. Okay, I don't think I picked up enough product there, so let's go back in. Or maybe the bronzer has just gone off because I haven't used it in such a long time. Let's try the other side. This kind of brush shape is really good if you want to just define this area here and kind of use it for contour. But because this brush is so big, it's great for just an all-over bronze as well. If you wanted to have a more defined contour, you could definitely use the smaller version of this brush, but I will be using that for blush later on. The brush is applying the product really nicely. It's just that the product is not as opaque as I remember it to be. But this big brush even works on my small face. Usually I try to stay away from big brushes because my face is so small. I actually really like this for bronzer. And you can easily bronze up your neck with this brush. Makes it really, really easy because it is such a big brush. So let's move on to the next brush in this set, which is the 403. And on the packaging it says this one is for cheeks. Looking at the size of this, this would be great for bronzer, blush and highlight, all of them. But I will use this for blush, then wipe off the excess and also put on a little bit of highlight. We are using the blush that's in the Naked on the Run palette, very pink. Let's see, I could do kind of like this motion, which will place the blush where I want it to be. Or if I wanted to go crazy, I could apply it this way. Also, this 403 brush is very soft. All Real Techniques brushes are really nice and soft. Definitely not lacking on quality there. I'm really starting to like this brush. You can go like any way you want. You can go like down like this, up, in a straight up motion, or just literally an all over swipe. So this is really, really versatile. I actually really like this. I think I've put on enough blush now, but I just couldn't stop applying it with this brush. It's really nice, I like it. Because the Naked on the Run palette doesn't really have a highlight, I mean they have that one eyeshadow there that is brighter, but it's really not that opaque. Let's use our tried and trusted sleek highlighting palette in Solstice. For anyone who forgot what it looks like this, and I will be using the lighter shade here. And I'm going to be using the same 403 brush for the highlight. I'm just dipping in lightly because I don't want too much product on the cheeks. And I would just go like this and place the highlight exactly where I want. Woo! Look at that highlight. I keep forgetting how nice this sleek highlighting palette is. That is blinding. And on the other side, it also go like this. The brush makes it really easy to apply. You can coat the brush with highlighter if you want, or you can just use this edge or this edge. It's all up to you. And let's put a little bit down the bridge of the nose. Okay, so I'm really liking the two bigger brushes here, definitely. So just as a size comparison, this is the one we used for powder and bronzer, and this is the one we used for blush and highlight. So they're exactly the same shape, but just different size. I feel like my voice is gone. I think it's that time of year again where everybody gets the flu. So I'm definitely gonna have a cup of chamomile tea after this video. Now my friends, this is the brush that intrigues me the most. This is the 303 and this is for eyes. It looks like the tiniest toothbrush in the world. For comparison, this is the brush that we used for blush and highlight, and this is the one for eyes, so it's very, very small. It's said to be used for eyes. I don't know how. I haven't watched any videos on this. I probably should, just to know how to use this. But let's say I'm a consumer who doesn't watch YouTube reviews and maybe doesn't even have internet and just relies on what it says on the packaging. So I'm just gonna try and use this for eyeshadow, even though I think I'm just gonna use this to highlight underneath the brow bone. You could also use this brush for very precise highlighting. I think this is exactly the size of my cheek and my nose. So if you don't want to use this for eyeshadow, you can definitely use this as a highlighting brush. And then you could keep the medium brush just for blush. However, let's try something. Let's start off easy. Let's use this as a brow bone highlight. I'm gonna dip back into the sleek highlighting palette and let's just take kind of like this purple color here. Oh, Jesus. Went a bit ham there on that eyebrow. It works as a brow bone highlight, but it wouldn't be now my favorite choice of brush for this. It's really hard to blend out with this brush. I've zoomed you guys in closer. I don't know how good of an idea that is, but the box doesn't really tell me anything. It just says, half fan head puts you in control to define and blend powders your way. 3 sizes, infinite looks. Use flat to blend and finish. Use sideways to detail and contour. Yes, it makes sense for the bigger brushes, but not for this small one. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. You might be looking at me like, oh my god, what is she doing? How does she not know how to use this brush? Well, I don't. Let's start with some really, really easy colors and let's try do a bit of blending. And I'm just gonna use the JloxINGLOT collab, my custom made palette here, and I'm gonna use this shade, I think it was called Honey. It's a very light brown kind of shimmery shade, really, really forgiving. So let's try that. I'm gonna coat the brush all over, not just the tip of it. I have it coated all the way. I'm just gonna try, I don't even know what I'm gonna do here. Let's just try to put the shade onto the lid. Let's not focus so much on blending. Let's just use this as a kind of packing brush. That'll work. I don't know how well you're able to see the shade on my lid because it's very, very light, but hopefully you can see something. Even if you wanted to use this for your eyeshadow, I think it's just too much effort. I don't know how I would blend with this brush. As a packing brush, yeah, it'll work. But I can't imagine blending out anything here in the crease. Okay, won't make a fool out of myself today, and I'm just gonna leave that eyeshadow there as it is. I'm just gonna pop on some mascara and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've put on my mascara. Let's try use this brush for underneath the lower lash line. I'm sure it'll work for that. And I'm gonna choose, I'd say, this color from the Naked on the Run palette. And now I didn't coat the sides of the brush, I only coated here the tip of it. And I'm just stamping it on rather than dragging. All right, let's do the other eye. Okay, so that brush did work for putting the product underneath the lower lash line. However, I would still prefer a regular angled brush for that as well. My overall thoughts for these brushes are positive. I do like 2 of the 3 brushes. I think this middle one is kind of unnecessary, or maybe it's just me and I don't know how to use it. Maybe I should have checked a video how they use it. But I was just trying to be in the mindset of a regular consumer who doesn't watch online tutorials. One downside to these brushes is that this set is actually 30 euro. So that means 10 euro for a brush. I can kind of justify paying 10 euro for these brushes, but I can't justify paying 10 euro for this brush. I wish this set would have been like 20, maybe 25 euro, but 30 was a little bit eesh. Having said that, these 2 brushes, the bigger one 203 and the smaller one 403, will definitely be entering my makeup routine. I really enjoyed this big brush for the bronzer and the smaller one for blush and highlight. Again, this small one really didn't do anything for me, but you could definitely use this as a brow bone highlight or a very precise highlight on the cheekbone or on the nose. Or maybe you are some sort of brush guru and you can make this work as an eyeshadow brush as well, but I just couldn't. I did only see them as a trio, I didn't see them as singles, but maybe in the future they will bring out singles, so I would definitely check these 2 out. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little first impressions video on the new Real Techniques Rebel Edge Trio brushes. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. I will link here some more videos that you might like, so go ahead and click on them. And until next time, I will see you later. Bye!